Says we are live on Facebook. Hello, everyone.
Hi. So, how are you doing after the holidays? I mean, are you still kind of reeling from the fact that this year was so different and maybe feeling lonely or guilty or cheated? You know, there's all year long we look forward to the end of the year holidays, and this year we really didn't have them. So, so this is what our show is about today. Is all month we've been talking about people that are just feeling a little out of sorts over the holidays. And so if you've got some negative trapped emotions that have either come up this year or have triggered something from the past, thank you for joining us. I'm Holly Pitus, an emotion code practitioner, with my delightful co-host, Amber.
Apparently I didn't put it to go to my page, so I'm just sharing it to my page. You know, technical difficulties. I am listening to you.
All right. Well, so Amber is also the technical brains behind all of this. So we do go live on Zoom on her Zoom, and then she's got to put us live on my Facebook page and then live on her Facebook page. And so there's a lot of coordination that goes on behind the scenes. And so thank you as you are patient with those. I do think that's one of the things that the pandemic year has taught us, is that technology does work well when it works well, but if it's not working well, then it's a little bit of a glitch. And so sometimes we just lose our picture, we lose our connection, we lose our volume. We're just not connected. We think we are. We're talking, but nobody can hear us. And so I think you must be ready to go. Amber, why don't you tell us a little bit about you and some of your specialties?
I'm Amber Salambier of Knots Untied Within, and I'm a certified emotion code, body code, and a whole bunch of other modalities practitioner. And together we help people release the emotions that are at the root cause of whatever your ailment is. So whether or not today we're working on grief, loneliness, sadness, anxiety around the holidays, especially with New Year coming up on Friday, what that looks like for 2021. We work on a bunch of other things as well. So I've got our emotional eating program going on right now. I do abundance of money with people. I work on different addictions. I work on all sorts of stuff, as well as Holly. So it all depends on what it is that you are really struggling with. There's an emotional root to all of it, and we help you clear those barriers. So what is it exactly that we're talking about? So the emotion code is a energy healing modality created by Dr. Bradley Nelson. He is a retired holistic chiropractor that, as he saw patients in his brick and mortar, he realized that, time after time after time, they weren't getting any better. And the body is meant to heal itself. We all know that when we get a cut or an open wound, that body heals itself. Well, what if your elbow is hurting and it's been months or years and it's not getting any better? Well, he realized that there are emotions at the root of that. So by connecting to the subconscious and clearing those emotions and that root cause, the body starts to clear that blockage ways and allows it to heal itself. I mean, every cell in our body regenerates after it takes 8 to 10 years for every single cell in our body to regenerate. So why is it that if new cells are being created, why can they all not be good ones? Well, it's because we have blockages and all of these things from negative past life events and traumas in our lives that is blocking that.
Yes, and so today is actually our show number 24. We've been doing this since in July, and love getting together every week with you. And each week, technically, we have a different topic, but a lot of times it seems like we've been spending kind of a general month or a month on a general topic. And so happy that you guys are able to join us. As you were talking, Amber, about these emotions being in us, and I think a lot of times people, even if you think, well, I don't know, this sounds a little woo woo for me, but we all know how we feel, that we know when we choose to go to a certain store or to a certain hairdresser or a certain doctor, or meet a certain friend because we like the way we feel. And we can choose to not go to a place again because we don't like the way we feel when we go there. And sometimes you don't really do a sophisticated evaluation of that. You just are like, yeah, I just don't want to go there. And so that's really what's kind of happening too with your energy body, is that you've had some sort of experience. Our subconscious mind just remembers every single thing. It's just this running ticker tape of everything that you've experienced. And it also doesn't know if you have truly experienced it in your real physical life, if you read it in a book, if you saw it in a movie or on a commercial, or if you overheard it, or even if it was a dream. Anything that's going to generate emotions with you or generate feelings with you is recorded as something that's real in your subconscious. And so what happens with these negative trapped emotions is that something just gets stuck. And sometimes it's a major, you were in a car accident or robbed or, some horrible thing. Or sometimes it was just a bad dream and it's stuck with you. There's also ways that you can absorb emotions from someone else. We all know that happens. You can have a friend that tells you the same bad story over and over. And you just it's just on your mind. Or sometimes it's after having gone to a place that you just sort of absorb that vibrational resonance of that place. And that could be, I don't know, a hospital or a funeral home, or there's a lot of people that work in rescue, whether they're you like fire and rescue people or ambulance people or people that work in hospitals. And it doesn't matter if you're actually a doctor or a nurse, or you're working in some administrative role or a janitorial role. You have all of this stuff happening around you, and you can just take on these emotions, and um, they're not your own, but you are helping to carry them for someone. So that is where the emotion code is, this beautiful system. We do use a chart, the chart of emotions. I have one behind me, but there are 60 different emotions that are listed on this chart. And we know them. There's blaming, there's dread, there's horror, there's depression, there's wishy-washy, there's creative insecurity, and all of these different categories that our emotions can go in. And that is what gets trapped. And if it doesn't know where else to go, it can come out in terms of sleeplessness or crying or joint pain or headaches, backaches. There's a lot of times that, you have exams coming up, or like in our case, holidays coming up. In a normal year, you would be seeing a particular relative that you don't like to see. You think, oh, every time I have to sit next to that person or see that person, I get a headache or a stomach ache, or I just dread going there. It's just a trapped emotion, and this is an elegant system. We can identify it quickly and release it. And then hopefully you are feeling better.
So how does this work, you might ask? First, volunteer. So if you have been feeling any sort of emotion around the holidays, whether it's overwhelm or discouragement, maybe it's depression or fear, any one of those emotions, then volunteer. And what we would need is we would need your permission. So the same as I wouldn't go into your house without permission, by knocking on the door, I certainly wouldn't enter your energy field. Next is we would need what it is that you are experiencing. So let's say it's fear. And I usually like to use the iceberg. So you've got fear in here that your conscious mind is thinking about, but then there's all of these emotions below the surface that you're not aware of. And so what we do is we go in and we identify, okay, so you're you're feeling the sensation of fear, what is really going on? Is it yours? Is it absorbed? Is it inherited? Is it, is it something that you were born with? Is it a trauma emotion? What is really going on there? And then we ask you to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most severe, because it allows you to really know, I started at an 8, and then after our quick session here, I'm not feeling it as more. So now I'm maybe down to about a 5. And we ask for your feedback afterwards to see how you're doing. Are you really still feeling that fear at an 8 or a 9 or a 10? Or where are you at now? And it's a way for you to see that you have shifted, that you have come down. Because sometimes when we're stuck in those emotions, we just feel like it all the time, right? And we think that we're at a 10. But when we go in and we check in with ourselves, we're like, oh, wait a minute, I'm not feeling as strong as I was. And so by clearing these, at the most part, you'll feel really light afterwards. I know all of my clients always say that they feel light after releasing, because you can imagine these are like balls of weight on your body that are just weighing you down. And you don't know where they came from or why they're like that. They're just weighing you down. And so we connect by doing muscle testing. We ask your subconscious a bunch of questions, yes or no questions, to get to the root cause as to what is going on. So what is really going on with your fear, your anger, whatever that is showing up for you? What emotions are coming up? And then, as you saw what Holly was doing, is we bring that emotion up to the surface of the energy field, and kind of like a bubble coming to the surface of a pond or whatever. And so now you've identified it, it's sitting there. And then we instruct by going over the governing meridian, which starts at about here and goes all the way down to your tailbone. And we instruct with intention for all of your energy systems to release that. And then it gets transmuted into wherever it gets transmuted into, and it gets released from your body. So that's how it works. And we would love for you to volunteer and to be able to work on you.
Yeah, so I have Christina visiting us from Sweden. And so I'm sure it's very beautiful where you are, Christina. I'm wondering if you have a chance to see the Northern Lights. That's something I would love to be able to see. Here in Wisconsin, it's maybe. Typically, if we have some sort of astrological happening, we also have cloud cover that night. so we just miss out. So anyway, so I'm going to connect with Christina. She's feeling some fear actually about getting COVID. So that's a natural thing that's happening to a lot of people. She feels tired and low, and she's rating it at about a 6. And so I'm going to connect with her and work on her. So do you have some visiting people on your end, Amber?
Well, we're both working on the same page. So I guess we only have Christina watching us today because I did not share it on my page. So it happens. I'm not worried. I can talk this entire half an hour about the emotion code and the body code and what so have you.
You go ahead and now connect with Christina and work on that. So Christina, glad you're here today. Yay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the difference between the emotion code and the body code is a question that I get asked all the time. Emotion code goes in and identifies the emotions. We use the chart and we go in and we pick the emotion, and we can even pick the age. So usually when I'm working with my one-to-one clients, I go in and I pick an age that event happened. So let's say, crying came up, and I asked the subconscious, okay, so you're 40, what age did that happen? And I take the age and I divide it by 2 so that it's easier as opposed to me going 1, 2, 3. So, was it before 20? Was it after 20? And we get right down to a specific event or something that happened that you would have felt crying. Now, again, we feel emotions every single second of the day. So if crying had come up, you could have been crying at 2. You could have been crying at 42, right? Like, it all depends, but we can really narrow it down as to what event this happened with, or what age this happened with. And it's within a range. So if we give you an age of, say, 29, it's anywhere between 28 and 30, because we don't sit there and go, oh, I'm crying, I'm 29, I'm crying, and all of this stuff is happening. So it kind of gauges the best that it can around a specific area. So sometimes I'll say 29 and they'll be like, oh yeah, at 28 something happened, or yeah, at 29. And it's pretty accurate. Not all the times do we remember every single emotion that we're feeling. Again, we're feeling an emotion every single second. So even if we don't think we're feeling an emotion, we're feeling an emotion. And you can only feel one emotion at the time, unless it's a compound emotion. So two emotions get trapped at the same frequency, but you're feeling one emotion. And so we go in, we identify it, we bring it to the surface, and then we release it. And then it's no longer in your body. Doesn't mean to say that there's no more other incidents of crying. It just means that that specific one is no longer in your body and it won't be coming back. So we release them and we go based on symptoms. So what symptom are you experiencing that may be contributing to this? Maybe you're feeling stuff with the sinuses, you've got the runny nose or the congestion or the watery eyes, or maybe you're feeling fear. You wake up and you're just so scared of what's going on with the world and what's going on in your own life. And then you're trapping even more emotions. And those more emotions go into your body and they actually start reducing your immune system, because they block different areas. So the body can't connect to itself anymore and communicate with each other. So then we're sort of causing our own cycle here by trapping all these emotions. And things that you can do on yourself is journal. Really, sit with yourself for a moment and really dig into whatever you're feeling and journal it. Don't think about what you're writing, just write. Get it out. I do emotional freedom technique. So tapping it out on the meridians to release those emotions. Breathing works fantastic. Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4. Just by calming that central nervous system down and allowing you to just be in the moment. We're so worried about the future is something that we can't control. It's about being present right here, right now in this moment. Gratitude works wonders too. I started a gratitude journal recently. So every day I put down the things that I'm grateful for, right down to, today going live with all of you guys will be on my gratitude journal. I am grateful for this opportunity. I am grateful to be alive to do it. I'm grateful for my health, even down to the little things. Because I think about what I have, the things that, we take for granted sometimes. I try to think about maybe what somebody might not have. And I really dig into that as to why I'm so grateful to have it. So this water bottle, for example, it might just be a water bottle, but I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful that I have a color that I like. I'm grateful for the nourishment the water gives me, that I get to be able to take it wherever. So when you're doing a gratitude journal, ask yourself, why are you grateful for this, as opposed to just writing something down? Again, it releases that energy on your own so that you can switch your mindset. How are you doing over there, Holly?
I'm doing great. Thank you. And you're doing great too. So, and hopefully Christina is doing great. So Christina, let me know. I think that you had absorbed some emotions, and that is what was kind of causing this increased worry about COVID. And so I released them and released some absorbed and vibrational resonance of emotions. And so I'm hoping that you can feel that and feel a little bit better and not quite so worried. And sometimes those things, especially something like worry, it doesn't necessarily vanish right away. But what you notice is that as you go through the day, those repeated thoughts of worry or anxiousness that were coming to you are just not coming to you any longer. So it's not as obvious as something like pain, where, you know, if you would step on your foot and your foot hurt, and now you can step on your foot and it doesn't hurt anymore. That's a very dramatic and expressive way of realizing that the emotion code has benefited you. But with some of those kind of those sneaky feelings, you just sort of realize that you're, oh yeah, you know, that's why I call my practice Get Feeling Better, because you just sort of notice, oh yeah, I guess I am feeling better. So that is very good. And Amber, I really like what you were saying about the gratitude journal. And, you know, sometimes there have been people on TV that are talking about the big ahas and things. And like sometimes it's misleading because you think that you have to have been given a thing or an opportunity that is tremendous. Like, oh, I was just hired as a CEO of a, you know, multi-billion-dollar company. And it's like, well, no, a lot of times it is thankful that you have a bottle to hold fresh water in. There's a lot of people that don't even have access to water. And there's that old saying, I can't remember exactly how it goes, about something about I was sad that I didn't have any shoes until I saw the man that didn't have any feet, you know. And it's like there's sometimes the things that we need to be really appreciative of are the things that we can take a full breath, or we can wake up, we can see what's around in our room or here, or there's people that are around us. And even for so many people that are living alone at this time, I think that whole move for independence and everything, that's great until now you are isolated. And at least we have the technology that helps. But yeah, I kind of wonder about the people that are in the tiny houses and things. And it's like, whoa, if you're in a really restrictive area that you can't even step out of your tiny house, that's kind of a crazy thing.
I just want to shout out to Anita. She's from the UK. The theme for today, Anita, is emotions around the holidays. So whatever emotion that you are feeling around the holidays, whether it's fear or, you know, going into we're about to come into 2021. So it's a new year, whatever emotions are coming up for you around that. But you're so right, Holly, in that, you know, there's so much that we can be grateful for, but also, you know, don't dismiss your feelings of the things that you don't have as well, right? I think that's important. I know that when I was in a really low place, you know, people would say, well, you know, it could be worse, but it's not actually validating what I'm feeling or where I'm at. So give that validation to yourself that you are exactly where you need to be right now and exactly who you need to be. And that at every moment we have a choice that we can choose something different, right? So if we're worrying about COVID and we're talking about, you know, absorbed emotions, I know when I go down that rabbit hole of going onto the news or going onto all of these different platforms and reading all of these comments, I start absorbing that like twofold. And then I'm like, why am I feeling so? Because then I start feeling that fear and I start going, you know, and then I'm like, well, wait a minute. Right now I'm okay. I can't control if, you know, something is going to happen to me. So what is it that I can control right now? I can control how I am showing up right now to the people in my bubble. And I really try to put myself into a bubble because I can, you know, I can be right here. I can't control how other people are reacting to this. I can't control how the government is reacting to this. I can control how I'm reacting to it. My thoughts, my emotions, my, you know, behaviors, I can control that. And first step of being control is awareness. How are you showing up to this?
I do think there's value in talking to yourself also, whether it is out loud or just in your head. And it, you know, but I think sometimes just, again, it goes back to the appreciation and gratefulness, and you know, just being able to say, all right, so maybe there is this fear of COVID, but then to say, but wait a minute, you know, on a general basis, I'm quite healthy. I don't really get sick. You know, I've got a strong immune system. I'm eating right and taking some vitamins and trying to do the best I can, wear a mask or whatever it is they tell you, if you do a mask or you don't do a mask, or the information changes all the time. And even if you are in a situation where you do have a really compromised immune system, that you know, I know people that are terminal with cancer, and it's like, well, that's probably not going to change. But what you can do is, you know, look back, be thankful for the days that you did have in your life, and, you know, try to, it sounds so trite to say to try to make the best of it, but it's like, well, it is a situation that's not going to change. So how can you at least forge through it or tie up your loose ends, say things to people that so that you're not leaving something left unsaid, and you know, just hope for the best. And I think too, again, with all of the negative trapped emotions that we can have, that that too is another whole area that we really haven't touched on, Amber, is, you know, people that are dealing with a terminal illness, and they know that they, I don't know, they're going to have 6 months or something. And so how can they wrap up some of the things that were events from their childhood, or bad relationships or unsolved relationships that they have? So
I think it's acceptance. You know, when you can come to acceptance, most of us don't want to accept things. We try really, really hard to control everything. And well, newsflash, we have really not a lot of control. We don't have control over our future. Or, you know, the only thing we are guaranteed in this life is, you know, an expiration date. And we don't even know, we're not even given that. So it's really living each day to its fullest and being present. And I know that when I am not being present, then I start, you know, absorbing more emotions, going through more emotions, trapping my own emotions. And then I start feeling harder and heavier and all of this stuff because I'm not being present. I'm worrying about things I cannot control, which is the future. I have zero control over that. And it's accepting the fact that I am given today and I'm so grateful. Yes, things may seem, you know, my reality may seem like XYZ, but what are the things I can find that I can be grateful for? Because when you can start to change your mindset and change how you're showing up, a lot of that stuff will start to work itself out.
true. And it, you know, the other thing is that we can't stop the fact that we're emotional beings. So you can be really grateful for the car that you have, and it's a beautiful car, but you can really get mad at the fact that somebody just cut you off in traffic, or you're stuck in traffic, or you're grateful you have this beautiful car, but you just got a flat tire. Well, you know, these things happen, and you just can't stop them. So there is a fair amount. My mom used to say you have to roll with the punches, and or go with the flow, or whatever it is that, you know, the current phrase is. Then I do think that sometimes well, actually, I truly believe that when we have a pain, or we're having these feelings of anxiousness or whatever, our bodies are trying to tell us something. And it's either that we need to be more aware of what's going on, or observant of something that's going on, or it's a distraction that, you know, you don't want to think about the fact that, I don't know, you've got a big project at work due. So instead you get a headache because you can focus on the headache and you don't have to think about the work thing. So, and I think sorting that kind of stuff out is tricky.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Anita is saying that she's a stay-at-home mom and doesn't work at the moment, and her husband lost his job this year, and it hasn't been easy because of all the fear and anxiety that has surfaced because of the situation that we're in. She's doing a lot of work on herself and feeling quite hopeful and positive, but there's still a certain level of anxiety around what's going to happen this coming year, and it's much worse for him. It is hard. That those what ifs are things that we can't control, right? What ifs, and then we put ourselves into more trapped emotions, right? Because we start feeling, you know, discouragement, despair, helplessness, hopelessness, all of these emotions, and we start trapping them which then causes blockages to go up. I recommend, because I did this for my husband, I wasn't working, he lost his job, so I feel the position that you're in. I had him write out, sit down for a moment, go take a walk, clear your head, write out, what does your ideal job look like? What is it that he wants in a job? And he's going to manifest this job, because it's like going to a restaurant. He's going to take the menu. He's going to write out all of his things that he wants. And then he's going to give the waiter his list of things that he wants. And it's going to go to the chef. And the chef which is the universe, is going to come up with that. Mm-hmm. And the more that you focus on that ideal list, the more that you give gratitude, the more that you know that it's coming. Just like, when you put in your menu item to the chef, that chef is going to bring you your food. What do we need to do? We just need to be patient, right? Mm-hmm. When you go to a restaurant, that chef is going to bring you it. What happens when you doubt it? What happens when you start giving the waiter a hard time? That chef is going to either kick you out or he's going to spit in your food. Mm-hmm. So I don't want, the thing that I'm asking for to be spit on or shoo-shooed or whatever. So I have zero doubt that when I ask for something, and the more that I focus on it, that chef or the universe is going to bring it for me. It's letting go of that doubt and that worry and all of that stuff. I know it can be hard. That's, when the tapping comes in, it's those reminders, when it's catching yourself, that awareness, when I start feeling that lack or that, scarcity or that fear, instantly I am focusing on my list. My ideal job is coming to me. And within a couple of months, his ideal job came to him. It doesn't mean that in that time that there wasn't all of that scarcity, right? Two people, not working, it's hard. But we had to change our mindset because it was the only thing that we could control. And when we did that, our situation changed. Reality changed, which is something that we can control. We can control our reality by how we're showing up to it. And he got his ideal job, and now he's happier than anything.
Yeah, that is, I like your analogy of being in a restaurant and ordering the meal, because you don't walk in and say, well, just bring me some food, because you have no idea what you're going to get. And it might be a food you don't like, or maybe you're allergic to it, or what have you. And if you order a pizza and they bring you a chicken, you're like, wait a minute, this isn't what I ordered. I want the pizza. Sometimes they say, well, have the chicken. We brought it to you. You can have the chicken until the pizza comes, which, okay, that's all right. But yeah, I think it's that contrast and clarity when you really identify what you want and then you hold off for it. You could fill up on the chicken, but it's like, no, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna hold off for that pizza because that's what I really want. So I see our time is ending, though. It's already past our time. So I don't know. I think we're gonna, we've been talking about doing something more positive for the new year in terms of goals and plans and productivity and motivation for the new year. I think everybody in the world is so ready for that clock to strike 12 and have it be 12:01 in a couple of days, and we will be in our new year 2021. And I just think it's a fresh start for everybody. And so Amber and I are here to help you with going through and maybe clearing off any old stuff that might be hanging around from this year, but also just kind of clearing the deck for you for getting started on the new year and helping you with your plans and your goals and your aspirations. So we certainly hope you're going to join us next week again.
Yes, absolutely. I'm going live on Wednesday at 7:00 Eastern Standard Time. So I invite you. We're doing open house. So, open clinic, I don't know, whatever you call it, but come bring, whatever it is that you've got on your plate to do that. And I will be using the emotion code. Sometimes we pull out the body code to really help you release whatever you need to release for the new year. So I look forward to seeing you on my page at Knots Untied Within Facebook page of Knots Untied Within, because it's not linked here because I screwed that up today. Woo!
Yeah.
But I look forward to seeing you all there, and we will have lots of fun on Wednesday. And otherwise, I will see you guys next week with Holly at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Monday, January 4th. New Year. I wish you all a happy New Year, and that when that clock strikes midnight, hold the intention for how your 2021 is going to be.
Exactly. And then Amber and I are both available to do a consultation with you if you'd like to learn a little bit more about what else we can do. We can do things that are, kind of quote unquote quick and easy here during the live demonstration, but there is so much more to what we can do and what you might be feeling. And sometimes just to go through a general starter checklist, it takes more than just a couple of minutes. And so we would love to be able to work with you one-on-one and really be able to help you out. So you're able to book those consultations or a session with us through our Facebook pages. Mine is, of course, Get Feeling Better. Get Feeling Better everywhere. So it's .com, it's Facebook, it's Instagram. And then Amber has her Knots Untied Within and Release Emotions. So
We will absolutely. We will look forward to seeing you next time, guys. Take
bye-bye.
care.